Right now, finding our roots, building ourselves up from the rubble, building that foundation that weathers all the storms of life. That's why we're here, guys. Pissed off for excellence.
Guys, I got a killer video blog for you. This one hits near and dear to my heart, man. It comes from Jasper. He's in Columbus, Ohio. 17 years old, going through some tough times in high school, man. A lot of peer pressure on him and stuff. And the better he does, the more successful he does, he's finding a lot of these people he thought were his friends are starting to turn on him. You know, making fun of him, calling him names and stuff. There's so much life lessons in this email that, let's get into it, and we're going to start diving into this. Greg, I've been a member since day one, and you have taught me so much about myself and who I want to be. I turn to your site for strength and borrow yours during hard times until I can find my own. I'm 17 years old, and I've been facing some tough times at school with classmates and people I thought were my friends. Been working really hard in the gym and the classroom and doing really great, but the more I do, the more attitude I get from everyone, and even hatred from these so-called friends. They call me names like meathead or bookworm, and they talk behind my back. I know it shouldn't bother me, but it does. It's like the more I do good, the more I'm made fun of. I guess I'm feeling the peer pressure and wanted to know what your thoughts were and how you would go about it. Thanks for your time and for being the source of strength for me. Rock solid, Jasper, Columbus, Ohio. Right off the bat, buddy, right off the bat, you are doing something that's causing others to notice and comment on. Very few people in the world have that effect, have that kind of influence, whether good or bad. Very few people, most people are forgotten souls. They go about their day and no one knows if they're there or not, and no one cares. The fact you're doing something that's causing reactions in other people is something to really investigate and look at. And there's positives in that. But what you're talking about here is peer pressure. And before I get into this, I'm going to jump ship real fast because I want to really kind of talk about this, because I have a lot of kids, teenage years and stuff, on the site, and you guys are looking at these pressures as if they are the do or die of life. And they are and they aren't. And some of my friends are parents, and what they do is that they protect their kids because they love them so much. They don't want them to feel anything but happiness. They don't want them to feel pain or sorrow or pressure or stress. They just want them to be a happy kid and everything else. In a perfect world where everything is taken care of and provided for them. That's not life in the real world, right? That's not life. When they get older, that kid is not going to have that comfort zone of security and everything taken care of for them and provided for them. That will change one day. But yet, the parents provide all that and nourish them and put all these rules and regulations to keep them sheltered and protected from what society's pressures are. They're doing an injustice to their kids. Because when they're young, they're supposed to confront adversity. They're supposed to fail. They're supposed to get knocked on their ass and find the intestinal fortitude to stand back up and face that fear again. All these things are life lessons. If not learned at an early state in life, will be traumatic later if learned in your 30s and 40s and 50s. There's too much riding on it at that moment. When you're young, at this earlier stage, what are you going to lose, man? You learn an invaluable lesson, and even if you fail and you learn it the hard way, what do you lose? A few, popularity points? I mean, what do you really lose? Nothing. But yet the parents don't want them to go through it. And Jasper, this stuff you're worrying about right now it seems so big and so real, and it's your whole world. And the reason why it's your whole world right now, guy, is because the only thing at a young age like this, the only thing anyone has actually achieved and claimed as their own is called popularity. No one has wealth, No one has money, no one has a legacy, no one has a business, no one has a car, no one has a house, no one has kids. All they have is popularity. And that's the trump card. That's what's so valuable. So what happens is people start doing what's popular instead of what they believe in. And that's a very, very dangerous game you're playing. It's based on pressure, guys. Pressure, there's two forms of pressure. There's self-induced pressure, and then there's self-absorbed pressure. Self-induced pressure is pressure that comes from inside because of a fear. A fear exists, and you don't want that fear to become a reality. So it starts to scare you inside to form pressure that formulates into action to ensure that that fear does not become the reality. The self-absorbed pressure is external people talking, doing different things, acting, seeing this, and you start listening to that because you're lost. You don't know who you are or where you want to go yet. So you start listening to that as it may be the truth, but it's not your own. That starts to absorb into you, and that external pressure is now inside of you, and it's starting to formulate who the fuck you are. And these parents that are protecting their kids from these pressures are just delaying the inevitable. That they have to find their own course. Find out who they are. What they are is the only thing that's valuable in this world. Is your confidence, your perception, and belief in who the fuck you are. That is the most cherished, most valuable thing you could ever have. Not a house, not a car, not a hot piece of ass, wife. The only thing that's valuable, guys, is how you see yourself in the mirror. How you look at your shadow of life. And are you happy walking next to it because you have to? Is that shadow something you're proud of? Does the sun hit you and form something of pride? Or does it form something of embarrassment? Pressure creates change. Not just in humans, but in life. The world first started, they say, as one piece of mass land, an ocean all around of it. But through the years and centuries and millions of years, the pressure of life and earthquakes and tectonic plates started shifting and started pushing that foundation of land out into all these different continents that we have now. But initially, when you're born, that's you. This is the land. It's together. It's whole. It's pure. It's a garden of fertile fertile seed, nourished and rich with nutrients and vitamins. It doesn't have weeds and toxins and parasites in it. No, it doesn't. That garden is your potential, your belief of what you can be when you're a kid. You're going to be like, yo, what I want to be? And like, dude, I want to be a doctor, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a pro athlete, I want to be the president. No one says they want to be a junkie. No one says they want to fucking shoot up a vein every day. No one says they want to be a hindrance on society. No, they don't. They say they want to do all this stuff because they're pure. Their garden of soil can grow anything. Inside, they have an idea. They plant an idea in the ground, provide work ethic and sacrifice, due diligence, and sweat equity, that labor of love that bears the fruit of possibilities. That you can be something. And when you fucking soar up there and you become this creation, the fucking weeds of life, the critics and the bullshitters will look up at you and hate you for it. Because your success reminds them of their fucking failures. They tried to have the pure garden and grow something pure. But it's too fucking hard for them, so they quit. So they know they can't grow into that flower you are. They're a fucking weed. So what are they going to do? They're going to try to contaminate you, bring you down, call you names and stuff. They're trying to bring you back down to make themselves feel good and make the world a perfect place like mom and dad used to do and protect me and everything else. Find that sense of stability again, because I didn't go through the fire then and I can't deal with the fire now. They can't grow anymore because they've lost that edge. All they can do is bring the shit down. They're called a fucking critic. They point their finger, forgetting that three are pointing back at them. All along, if you point your fucking finger at me, you better look at your hand, make sure it's clean. Bob Marley says, the only truth in life, and it's not verbatim, but whatever I remember, the only truth in life is that everybody will hurt you. That's the only truth. Everyone will hurt you. It's your choice to choose who's worth suffering for. Are these fucking people worth suffering for, Jasper? Because you're achieving shit in the gym, looking great, embarrassing them because they're not in shape? Or you getting the good grades? Becoming, higher up in the echelon of maybe, I don't know, valedictorian or something? What's that causing to them? It's causing instability in them, making them feel weak. Your success causes them the reminder of their demise. Success is a very lonely road. That's why you have to be comfortable in your shadow, guys. Because at the end of it all, that's all that's there. And make sure that your goal, whatever you're going to achieve, isn't achieved at the price of your fucking soul. Because if so, that shadow will haunt you forever. It's a really good quote. I want to grab for you guys. Hold on a second. Fuck, man. I got worked up on these fucking things, man, because I got worked up on this one, too. This is one of my favorite quotes. So great that I framed it, man. Put it on my table and read it. From Theodore Roosevelt. It's not the critic who counts. It's not the one who points out how the strong man stumbled, but where the doer of deeds could have done better. The credit goes to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs and comes up short again and again, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause. At best, he knows in the end the triumph of high achievement. And at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who knew neither victory nor defeat. The fucking critic, the bullshitters out there that couldn't do it. So now I'm gonna fucking try to bring you down to make themselves feel good. The self-absorbed pressures of life. Those are the critics. Pressure changed our landscape of the world with the foundations in the earth and the movements and everything else. It changes the individual just as well. We know guaranteed that society and the world is always going to change, right? Now that's manageable if we are controlling it from an unchanging foundation, a solid foundation. That's manageable. We can control that. We can take the good with the bad, learn from the adversity, see the glass half full, not half empty, find the good, the silver lining between it all, grow from it, become stronger with it. If we are on a foundation that's constant and true, where we believe in ourselves, where we find fear, and we look at fear as the ultimate source of courage. Fear will become reality if we don't do something about it. That causes the courage to make action. That causes the motivation that I don't want that to happen. The pressure is going to come in. I don't want that to happen. The pressure will ignite action into doing something positive to ensure that fear does not happen. That self-induced pressure where you know who you are, your foundation doesn't move. You can control the surroundings because one thing is pure. You have a true north, azimuth. You know where to go now. You're not lost. The people that listen to other people and try to find their way with others' advice are self-absorbed pressure. They're feeling the insecurity, or maybe the temptations, or maybe the quick fixes and this and that. They don't like where they are currently. That's known, that's given. They have a pressure to get out of the hole they're in. But they haven't developed the core fundamental blocks of character and discipline to provide the confidence and know-how that yes, I can plant it in my garden of pureness and have it grow with hard work and water and nutrients. I can make anything possible. I haven't sold that. My soul's still intact. I believe in who I am. So I can plant it and grow anything I want. No, they aren't that way, because they've already sold that up. Their soil is non-fertile. Can't go shit in there for weeds and toxins and parasites and shit you don't even want to look at. Self-absorbed pressures. They look at society. They allow it to set in. Then all of a sudden the external pressures out inside of them, formulating who the fuck they are now. The output, wrong. Because they don't know who they are. So therefore their foundation of strength is no longer solid. It's changing too. And when what you're standing on is changing of who you are, and the world in which we live in, the external factors of society is changing too, you tell me how you manage that. How can one changing surface manage another changing surface and ever produce something of pureness that stands the test of time, that can battle the storms? Storms will knock you down, guys. I got hedges and stuff here. I cut the shit out of them every day, or every week, or month, whatever the fuck it is. They grow back stronger. Solid ground foundation, solid roots. Their soil isn't contaminated. They can grow out of that. The only thing you have in this world, guys, is your perception of who you are and the confidence of what you can do. If you give that up, or allow the critics, who are nothing more than self-absorbed pressure players, because they couldn't do it themselves, you allow their opinion to matter, it will alter how you think of yourself, which will then alter your actions, ultimately ending that path of excellence that you're shooting for. Where you're a kid and you want to be a lawyer or someone of importance and remembered, that path over the pressures of external factors being absorbed alters it, and you end up doing something that you can't believe. You're in trouble maybe, you're in jail maybe, or maybe you're just non-content and you have a midlife crisis. Pressure is an amazing thing, guys. It's what creates evolution. It must be controlled. The only way you can control it is having a solid foundation to work off of. That solid foundation is your soul, who you are, looking in the mirror, being happy with what you see, okay with the shadow that's casted in life. You're somebody that remains true no matter the ups or downs of society. You remain true. If the storms come and wipes out your fucking plants, it's okay. The roots are still good. They'll grow back because it's solid. There's no chemicals in it. There's no bullshit in there. You're getting peer pressure, Jasper, because you're doing good, man. That's why. I promise you guys, success is the loneliest road out there. It's you and your shadow at the end, because it's too fucking hard. People don't want to be around you because you cause them to have brainstorming of their failures and shortcomings and how they could have been like you but they failed. And then if you're a nice guy, they hate you even more because you're successful and nice, and then they hate themselves for hating you. But they're just hating how they ran their life because they sold their soul early in life. Without pressure, there is no change. And And if you contaminate yourself, that pressure will cause your worst fears to be not motivation and encouragement, but be the demise of what your efforts and potential could be. You're feeling it right now, Jasper, in high school. I'm feeling it right now. You know, I mean, I put this site up there and do magazine covers and this and that, or acting or commercials and stuff, and try to preach, you know, what I feel is correct, what's helped me. You know, like when I feel all that external pressure around me, you know, I go to the gym to create an explosion of internal pressure to push the motherfuckers away. That's my bedrock, man. That's why I go to the gym, not for the vanity of the mirror, but for the sense of pride and confidence to nourish the garden to make sure that soil always remains fertile. That's what my love is. The byproduct of that is a good-looking, you know, healthy lifestyle, you know, someone's in shape and everything else. But that's not what my goal is. That's not my vision. That's not my motivation. That's not the fear that's causing the encouragement to be in the gym. Hell no, but even with that, I preach what I want. I can go online on the internet anytime I feel I'm pretty high about myself, feeling good, feeling like things are going well. I can go on the internet within 5 minutes, find haters out there. They're just fucking beating the shit out of me. Telling me this, telling me that. You know, these fucking keyboard fucking, you know, heroes. Ones that stand behind a fucking computer screen because they don't have the fucking nuts to actually do it in life. So they sit here and they type their fucking opinion as if I care about their fucking opinion. These people that are these keyboard rangers, right? They've never seen the crowd from the view of the field. No. They've never taken a breath of the arena air that's mixed with anxiety and pressure to know what it feels like when butterflies are killing them. They've never gone out on that limb of life, holding by a thread, but still believing in the cause, and made that leap of faith that made the change in their life. They're too weak to even walk that limb. But they're going to sit there and point their finger at me. They're going to start telling me different things. And I'm supposed to fucking listen to their fucking opinion? Are you kidding me? They can go fuck themselves. There's a million of them. A million of them. Success is first found with hatred before ever inspiration. Because you're parallel with these fucking losers when you're first starting out. And you start to climb. And it makes them feel like shit because they are who they fucking are. And now all of a sudden, you're basically, without saying a word, letting them know how weak they are because how strong you are. So therefore, they're sitting there and they hating you for it. But as you keep climbing, then no longer can they defute the truth. And then they jump on board and look at you for motivation to try to pull out of that hole. Always met with hatred before inspiration, success. You're always on your own. And as Bob Marley said, the real truth of life, the only truth is that everyone will hurt you. It's your choice to choose who's worth suffering for. Jasper, you ended your thing saying rock solid. You are rock solid, man. Don't worry about this shit, man. These are great things happening. It means you're doing something right to get their attention. I look back at high school, you know, and you look at those guys that were like the computer dorks, you know, those little nerds that everyone made fun of and everything else, got good grades and called them bookworms and everything else. Yeah, they're corporate 500 owners right now, flying private jets, million dollar salaries with 400 or 500 employees underneath them. Whatever they want to do, they can do. Meanwhile, the high school quarterback jock who put all of his fucking effort and popularity instead of being smart, looking as an investment for the future, they value now as a future. They're working 9 to 5 in the burger joint. Whew. What a switch that is. Stay rock solid, Jasper. The critics, the bullshitters, there is people that haven't done it themselves. All they can do is talk. There is freedom of speech. And with that comes a freedom of listening. Listen to them. You'll see exactly and hear exactly what not to do. So if they're going right, damn well sure going left's the right way. Barry Plitt, thanks for watching.